All right, we're going to tie up the tapered neck jig. We're going to tie up the one yesterday that I'd taken a picture of and called it the MUDD BUSTER. It's going to be tapered neck. We're going to be using UV resin in this. We're going to be using Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails, hackle, and we are also going to be using marabou. And I was going to hit it with UV light. So let's get ready to tie this. All right, so we got it in the vise. We've got a 1/8 ounce Texas minnow jig head with a regular number 4 J hook, not a sickle hook, going with the J hook. So let's get started. We started out with our Sally Hansen's. We're going to be tying this with Danville's 210 waxed thread. All right, so we're going to start right there behind the head. We're going to wrap it a few times because you're going to want to build that tapered neck up. So don't skip up there by the top. The more you kind of help start building it up, easier it's going to be later on. Keep in tension on that bobbin as you're wrapping that neck up, because if you don't, what will end up happening is that thread is going to want to fall and it's going to want to slide back, and you'll end up with a little bit of a mess. It's fixable, but we're going to get our hackle. I've got some fans blowing down here because it is supposed to be like 104 degrees in southwest Missouri today. And the fan's already blown some of my hackle away. So we're going to wrap it kind of loose. And I want this section of hackle to be off the side of the shank of the hook. And we're going to tie it down kind of tight. Go back up to the head and stop. Rotate your vise over just a little bit, and this is where having the rotary function vise is going to help a lot. I got 2 more small pieces of hackle. We're going to lay those right up around that side. Leaving a V open right there in the middle. And that V is just so we can add other stuff to it. One last single piece of hackle that's going to go right on the belly of that. And then we're going to start tying it up. We're going to stop right there. And next what we're going to do is we're going to get our marabou ready. And I've already got a marabou feather pinched out, and I'm going after these pieces right here at the top that are straight and pointy. I'm going to pinch that off, and I'm going to pull out just about the length that I did on that hackle. We're going to trim that off. And I apologize if I bumped the camera. I use my phone as my camera, and I got this little squiggly arm thing that's kind of holding it up, and it moves really easy when I bump it. So we're going to lay that marabou right there on the back of that shank of that hook, and we're going to tie it down. Now this is where the 210 comes in really handy. It'll build that neck up and it'll taper it up pretty quick. If I'm doing a really small jig, 1/64, 1/32, 16th ounce, I usually use 140. Or actually, I'll use 210 a lot, but if I pick up 140 and start doing it with 140, I will keep up with that. I won't stop. It'll still come out right. So you've got hackle and you got marabou tied into the same jig. You got the tapered neck effect going on. Oh, almost dropped my whip finish tool. Now for the whip finish tool. Hook it, loop it, create that triangle with it right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it out. And I'm only going to do 1 whip finish knot in this just because UV resin is going to do a good job of holding it. Sorry, had to get some eyes. Thought I had some eyes laid out. There's the eyes I got. We're going to go with red just because they're the ones on top. I would have put silver in them, but we're just going to go ahead and we're going to stick a red eye right there on that, in that eye socket. Number 4 millimeter, number 5 millimeter is the perfect size eye for these little bit larger jig heads. 4s will work in 16ths, 4 and 5s will work in 8ths. I'm just going to push them on there until they feel kind of snug. I don't want to push them around to get them moving and get an air pocket underneath them. you get that air pocket underneath of them, they don't want to stick. They'll want to just keep falling off. Humidity, temperature can make a difference on what those eyes do also. So now we're going to take our UV resin. I can get the lid open. And we're going to be pretty generous with it, but we're going to keep up with that drip. So I'm going to show you, if I can, if the camera's going to pick it up when I'm talking about it. I always start my brush right here at the top of the head. I pull off all that excess. I kind of go over the eyes real light, across the nose of it. I get the head and the eyes taken care of before I do the neck most of the time. We're going to get it in there. We're going to get another really good drip on it. And we're going to brush it on right there. And I'm just going to spin it, let the rotary vise do the work of pushing it around. And like I said, this if you don't have a rotary vise, this is going to help you a lot if you're using the UV resins. Go back over it one more time. Stand it up. So you'll notice if you start getting UV resin on kind of heavy, you'll see that drip. I didn't really get it on that heavy this time. Actually, let's just go ahead and do it. Let me show you how I save this. So we're gonna get a little more on that brush, a lot more than what's needed. And now you can see I got a pretty heavy coat of UV resin on top of that. So when you start spinning it, you're gonna see it's gonna start building up a drip right here in the bottom of it. The fastest way to cure that is going to be with your UV flashlight. You're going to get it to where the drip starts settling back down. You're going to hit it with that light, and you're going to hold it for just a few seconds. And you're just going to rotate it. Now that UV light isn't going to cure it, flashlight isn't going to cure it quite long enough to do this, but it'll get it set up good enough to where you can put it in the sunlight or a UV box and finish it off. And we just about got it good enough that I can hang it by the shank of the hook down like that and not have to worry about the resin running off of it. There it is, folks. That is the MUDD Buster. Nice, smooth, seamless. I don't see no gaps underneath the eyes. And there it is. That is all I got for today. Don't forget to check out the member only videos. I will be doing tips, how to take care of stuff, how to care for your feathers, how to care for your thread, how to keep all this stuff from going bad through the different seasons and all that, how to take care of your powder paints. But that is it. Please, if you haven't, like, share, subscribe. And if you can, I greatly appreciate the member subscription. Any dime I make doing this, I can promise you folks, it goes right back into doing this. I'm really working on trying to get some better cameras, some different things set up to where it'll make it a little bit easier to do these videos. Sometimes I don't do enough of them just because I kind of get tired of trying to set up all my camera angles, get things going and all that. But that is it. That is the UV tapered neck mud dauber jig. Like I said, if you haven't, like, share, and subscribe, hit that thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it, guys. Thank you.